Here, my name is Clinton Jarman. Thanks for joining me once again. As I've been saying sort of the last few sessions, I'm trying to create a fan channel here. So trying to gather all South African, or most South African sports that I think I'm pretty knowledgeable on, and giving my opinion, but not only my opinion. I want to get the voice of the fans. I want to get to know you guys. So get commenting below. Let me know what you want to hear from me, and yeah, so straight into things this week. But before I go do that, don't forget to like this video, don't forget to subscribe. Also, hit the notification button so you can get all the latest from the Wild Protea. Now, like I've said earlier in previous videos, that it's been kind of tough during lockdown to try and bring content. Obviously, there's no sports being played, but you know, doing the best we can. So this week, there was a couple of transfers in the rugby world. Warwick Land joining us here in the Cape, in the Stormers, or the Western Province franchise. After losing Dylan Lates, I think that's a great acquisition. You know, Warwick, I think, has a great future ahead of him. Obviously, you know, was in the World Cup squad, didn't really play much, but it was a whole squad win. So World Cup winner. So that, you're never going to say no to that. And then I think that the Stormers and Western Province already had a pretty decent squad anyway. You know, managing to retain most of their Springboks. Other transfers, I think Damian Delendi and Kobus Reinach, I think it was, went to Munster. And then the Bulls, they signed former Stormer, obviously in place of Warwick Land, they signed Gio Aplon. So yeah, so a few signings, you know, and I must just talk just quickly about, you know, the Super Rugby landscape as it is now. Obviously, it's going to be very difficult to finish the proper Super Rugby season. So New Zealand has their own thing going on. I think we're going to do our own sort of kind of domestic Super Rugby kind of thing. And I must say the two teams that have impressed me most with their off seasons are the Sharks and the Stormers. You know, the Sharks, they've acquired some good players. Skombuza Noche has been absolutely outstanding, you know, the first few weeks of the Super Rugby season, as well as Apilele Fasi as well. Cohen Bosch looks a real gem at 10. And then, you know, you've got Andre Estes in there at 12, and a pretty decent forward pack there as well. You know, it looks like the Sharks were the real deal this season. They even beat the Stormers, I think, just before COVID-19 took over the world, basically. But you know, I think they would have had a real shout. Definitely semi-finalists, possibly home semi-finalists. And then the other South African team you'd look at, probably the Stormers. So I think in a interprovincial kind of derby, like almost like a Currie Cup type franchise season, now you might see those two at the end clash for whatever sort of title they're going to call it. It's going to be some make-believe, some trophy that they'll probably make up, but at least we'll get to see some rugby, which will be great. I'm looking forward to the New Zealand side of things when that kicks off. I can't remember the dates offhand. I think it's the 13th of June or July. It might be June. So, you know, can't wait for that. Yeah, and then, you know, looking forward to seeing the guys back on the field again. So, you know, I don't know what you guys think, but those are my two teams that I would like to, will watch out for. And then, you know, you guys get commenting below. Who do you think, you know, do you think the Bulls have anything left in the tank there with Mornay? Do you think other sides can possibly come into it now that there's been such a long layoff? I still see those two, the Stormers and the Sharks, being the better sides in South Africa at the moment. But I really thought this might be the Stormers here to maybe possibly get the win. You know, you got an inspirational captain like Siya Kolisi there. You got most of the squad from last season where we just about missed out on the playoffs, and I thought last season was okay. At the end of the back end of the season, the front end of the season, we kind of were inconsistent. I say we because I live in Cape Town. Get commenting below, guys. I'd love to hear from you. What do you think of the signings? What do you think of South African players playing abroad? You know, with Munster snapping up another 2 of our lads to go overseas. That's, you know, makes a large contingent of South African players overseas now. Which, I mean, there are rules in place so that they can still join up with the Springboks. But, you know, a lot of people see it like, you know, there's these youngsters that now want to take their places in the franchises, and are these youngsters going to get a chance in maybe a Springbok setup, or, you know, you're going to go with the tried and tested? For me, it's the tried and tested. It doesn't matter where you play your rugby. It's a similar concept in football, really. If you play your football in the English Premiership, let's say, you know, you from, say, Spain, Portugal, Italy, wherever it may be, you play your football in England because maybe you think it's the best league in the world, blah, blah, whatever. And then you go back, you play for your national team, and you're probably one of the better players because you play in that tough league. I'm not saying that I think the Northern Hemisphere rugby is better. You know, if anything, the Super Rugby competition for me is probably the pinnacle of rugby. You know, you've got the New Zealand sides, South African sides, the Australian sides. Obviously, you can bring in players from other countries as well into these franchises, as we've seen now with the Welshman joining the Stormers now. I can't remember his name, but he's added a lot of value to the Stormers. Added some great experience, and also defensively, he's an absolute monster. I still can't remember his name, but yeah, he's added a lot to the Stormers this season, and that's why part of the reason why I thought they could perhaps surprise everyone and go all the way this season. So yeah, what do you guys think of guys playing abroad? And then what do you guys think of the new signings from all the teams? You know, like I said, I'm most impressed by the Sharks. I'm most impressed also by the Stormers. The other franchises have made some changes, but changes that I don't really think are going to make a difference maybe this season. I think the Bulls are in a rebuilding phase again. They've lost quite a few players. Lions, obviously, they lost nearly, I think it was 16 or 17 players due to injuries, players leaving, suspensions, and that sort of thing. I haven't, just speaking on the Lions, I haven't heard much of Apiwe Dianti just recently. You know, obviously he got pinged for doping. So what do you guys think of that as well? You know, Apiwe, obviously he was trying to get back for the World Cup. You know, can you fault the man for wanting to be in that World Cup squad, knowing probably that, you know, they're going to get pretty close to winning it? You know, but in the end, he made a mistake, and unfortunately, he's got to be punished for that. Hopefully, the ban or suspension won't be too long. I haven't really heard much on that lately. You know, maybe I'll do some research and see what's happening with Apiwe next week. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. So yeah, just a couple of questions. What do you guys think of, you know, this kind of split Super Rugby season that they've got going on? I haven't even heard anything from Argentina, what they're planning to do, if they have a competition there, I don't know. And so we're going to have our own sort of Super Rugby, New Zealand will have their own Super Rugby. Maybe they'll get the two winners of those competitions to clash at some point. That would be nice. So in my mind, it would probably be, I think the Blues have an outside chance, but it would probably be between the Crusaders and perhaps the Chiefs for the New Zealand sort of conference. And then looking at ours, it would probably be either the Sharks or the Stormers. I don't see it coming outside of those two teams. then obviously Australia, they're starting their rugby back up, but I don't know if they're still going to be doing the franchise thing. That's sort of iffy at the moment. So if they did have sort of a Tri-Nations type tournament there with the 3 teams, maybe that could work. But yeah, again, I don't know. Nothing's been said on that. This is just like pure speculation on my point. What I would like to see. I mean, imagine seeing maybe the Stormers, the Crusaders, and the Waratahs or the Brumbies, whoever wins their competition there in Australia. Imagine seeing those 3 teams square off in a Tri-Nations, winner takes all for the Super Rugby competition type thing. That would be freaking amazing. I just don't think there's going to be the time in the year with our rugby looking only to start up again, probably September, October, or August, or whenever it was that they said they wanted to start up again. So, and then you've still got the Rugby Championship you have to finish. You've still got mid-year test matches that have been rescheduled. So yeah, it's going to be. Look, guys, it's probably going to be a lot of rugby at the end of the year, which I'm looking forward to. And we'll bring you some more analysis and stuff as and when the guys get back on the field. So just finishing up with my questions. What do you guys think of the separate Super Rugby things, the new signings, and also when do you think we'll get a definitive answer on when rugby's going to start up again in South Africa? And so thanks for joining me, guys. It's been tough for all of us. The thing is, during this time, we all just have to kind of accept what's going on, or to a certain extent, and try and get on with our lives. And this is what I'm trying to do. And I'm trying to reach out to fans and trying to reach out to you guys and see what you guys are feeling, how you feel about the sports, and how you guys are coping without it. I know I'm personally not doing well without sport. Sport is literally my life. I love watching it, and especially the rugby, the cricket, all the South African sports. I'm so passionate about it. But with it being gone now, it's been a time that I have to reevaluate sort of not my life, but sort of my interest, and try and channel my interests elsewhere, and try and grow sort of as a person as well. So get commenting below, guys. Hit that like button, hit that notification button to get all the latest from the Wild Protea. And as I said, guys, let's get the conversation going. I'm trying to get this fan channel going here, and hopefully we can do that. There are plans in the future for obviously bigger studios and sort of having guest appearances as well. Hopefully, I know a few athletes, a few cricketers, a few rugby guys, and I've got friends of you guys who are playing professional sport as well. So hopefully we can get this going and get enough popularity that we can get some guests on here, and keep the conversation flowing. Guys, that's me for now. I'll see you guys again next week. Have a fantastic weekend. Cheers. Be safe.